In the era of smartphones that shoot 8K and process images with AI, buying a dedicated camera seems like a strange choice. Why carry a brick around your neck when you have a supercomputer in your pocket? The answer is physics. A larger sensor means real depth of field, better low-light performance, and images that don't look over-processed. But here is the problem. The entry-level market is a minefield. Manufacturers love to strip features from these affordable cameras to force you to buy their expensive models. If you choose wrong, you end up with a plastic toy that is harder to use than your phone. Today, we are putting the three heavyweights of the budget world into the ring. First, the Canon EOS R100, the cheapest entry into the mirrorless world. Second, the Nikon Z30, a camera built specifically for content creators who hate manuals. And third, the Panasonic Lumix G100D, the tiny travel hybrid that punches above its weight. We are going to break them down in 10 categories to find out which one is a hidden gem and which one is a waste of money. Let's start with the entry-level titan, the Canon EOS R100, design and ergonomics. The first thing you notice when you pick it up is the weight. At just 356 grams, it is incredibly light. You could carry this all day without noticing. However, that lightness comes at a cost. The build quality feels undeniably cheap. The plastic is hard, the grip is shallow, and buttons feel clicky and hollow. It lacks the robust feeling of Canon's higher-end models. Display and viewfinder. But the biggest compromise is the screen. In 2026, it is shocking to see a camera with a fixed display. It doesn't tilt, and it doesn't flip out. If you want to take a low-angle shot, get ready to lay on the ground. Even worse, it is not a touch screen. Navigating menus requires using physical buttons, which feels ancient if you are coming from a smartphone. However, it has one massive advantage over the competition: a built-in electronic viewfinder. On a bright, sunny day where screens become unreadable, having an EVF is a lifesaver for composing your shots properly. Image quality. Despite the cheap body, the heart of this camera is gold. It uses Canon's proven 24-megapixel APS-C sensor. For pure photography, the results are fantastic. You get that legendary Canon color science right out of the box. Skin tones look natural, and the dynamic range is solid. If your goal is strictly taking photos, this sensor punches way above its price tag. Now let's talk about video. This is where the budget price tag really hurts. The 4K reality. The box proudly says 4K video, but it is a lie by omission. When you switch this camera to 4K, it applies a massive 1.7x crop on top of the already cropped sensor. This means your wide-angle lens instantly becomes a telephoto lens. If you try to vlog at arm's length in 4K, you won't see your background, you will only see your nose. It makes high-resolution vlogging physically impossible without buying expensive, ultra-wide lenses. Autofocus performance. It gets worse. In 1080p, Canon's famous dual-pixel autofocus works perfectly. It tracks eyes and faces instantly. But the moment you switch to 4K, dual-pixel is disabled. The camera reverts to ancient contrast detection autofocus. This causes the image to pulse and hunt for focus, ruining your shots. If you want reliable autofocus, you are forced to shoot in 1080p. Audio and vlogging. For content creators, the R100 is frustrating. Yes, it has a microphone port, so you can use better audio. But it lacks a headphone jack, so you can't monitor your levels. And without a flip-out screen, you can never verify if you are actually in the frame. It is a camera that actively fights against you if you try to film yourself. Performance and lenses. Under the hood, the R100 uses the older Digic 8 processor. It's competent, but it shows its age. In low light, images remain usable up to ISO 3200, but push it further and things get noisy fast. Also, the burst shooting buffer fills up quickly, so don't expect to shoot high-speed sports effectively. Moving on to the Nikon Z30. If the Canon R100 is stuck in the past, the Nikon Z30 is aggressively targeting the present. Design and ergonomics. The moment you hold it, you feel the difference. Unlike the flat, slippery Canon, the Nikon has a deep, substantial grip. It fits your hand perfectly. It feels like a tool, not a toy. It also features a tally light. a small red lamp on the front that tells you exactly when you are recording. This is a small detail that saves you from the nightmare of talking to a camera that isn't running. Display and viewfinder. Nikon also fixes Canon's biggest mistake, the screen. It is a fully articulating, responsive touch screen. You can flip it around to see yourself, tap to focus, and swipe through photos just like on a smartphone. However, there is a catch. Look at the top of the camera, it's flat. There is no electronic viewfinder. For video, this is fine. But for photography, it is a major downgrade. Shooting photos with your arms stretched out in front of you is less stable. And on a bright sunny day, glare can make the back screen almost impossible to see. Image quality. The sensor itself is excellent. A 20-megapixel APS-C chip that delivers sharp, punchy images. But because you lack a viewfinder, the experience of taking photos feels much more casual. Like using a point-and-shoot rather than a serious camera. Now let's talk about why this camera exists. Video, the 4K advantage. This is the Nikon Z30's superpower. Unlike the Canon, when you hit record in 4K, the angle of view stays wide. It uses the full width of the sensor. This means you can hold the camera at arm's length with the standard kit lens, and you will comfortably fit yourself and your environment in the shot. For vloggers, this is non-negotiable. You don't need to buy an ultra-wide lens just to fit your face in the frame. Autofocus performance. The autofocus is also a massive upgrade. It tracks eyes and faces reliably in video mode. If you hold a product up to the lens, it shifts focus smoothly, and when you drop it, it snaps back to your face. It's not quite Sony-level perfection, but it is miles ahead of the pulsing mess we saw on the Canon. Audio and vlogging. Nikon also paid attention to audio. The built-in stereo microphones on top are actually decent, much better than average. If you buy the Creator Kit, it even comes with a fuzzy wind muff that slides right into the hot shoe. However, it shares one flaw with the Canon. It has a microphone jack, but no headphone jack. You still can't monitor your audio live, which is a disappointment for a camera focused entirely on video. The bigger issue is the lens ecosystem. The camera uses Canon's RF mount. While there are amazing professional lenses, there are very few affordable compact lenses made specifically for this smaller sensor, RFS. You are mostly stuck with the dark kit lens. To get better glass, you often have to use an adapter and older DSLR lenses, which makes this tiny camera huge and front-heavy. The verdict on the Canon R100. So, is it worth your money? If you are a photography student on a tight budget, who needs a viewfinder and wants great JPEGs straight out of camera, yes. It is a fantastic tool to learn the basics of photography. But if you care even 1% about video, vlogging, or content creation, do not buy this camera. The cropped 4K, the lack of a touchscreen, and the poor autofocus in video mode will be a constant source of frustration. Performance and lenses. In low light, the Z30 performs admirably. The sensor manages noise well up to ISO 6400, making it a safe choice for indoor recording or evening vlogs. It feels faster and more responsive than the Canon. However, the Achilles heel of this camera is the lens ecosystem. Nikon makes incredible glass, but most of it is designed for their expensive full-frame cameras. The selection of affordable, compact lenses made specifically for this smaller DX sensor is surprisingly thin. You might find yourself wanting a wide-angle lens and realizing your only options are expensive or too big for the camera body. The verdict on the Nikon Z30. So, is it the one? If you are a content creator, YouTuber, or streamer, this is hands down the winner of this group. The uncropped 4K, the tally light, and the reliable autofocus make it a workhorse for video. But if you are a photographer who enjoys the process of composing shots through a viewfinder, look elsewhere. This is a video camera disguised as a photo camera. Finally, we have the underdog, the Panasonic Lumix G100D. Note the D at the end. This is the updated version, and it fixes the two biggest complaints of the original. It finally has a modern USB-C port for charging and a vastly improved crystal-clear OLED viewfinder. Design and size. This camera is tiny. It is genuinely pocketable. If the Nikon is a compact tool, the Lumix is a featherweight. It's designed to go everywhere with you without weighing you down. And unlike the Nikon Z30, it does have a viewfinder, which makes it a much better hybrid for taking photos on the go. The sensor reality. However, we have to talk about physics. This camera uses a micro 4/3 MFT sensor. This sensor is physically smaller than the APS-C chips in the Canon and Nikon. Does that matter? In daylight, no. The image quality is stunning, with sharp details and great colors. But because the sensor is smaller, you won't get as much creamy background blur, bokeh, as you would with the Nikon Z30. And technically, it gathers less light. Video and audio. For video, the G100D has a split personality. The bad news? The 4K crop is severe. Because it lacks physical stabilization, it uses electronic crop to stabilize footage. If you vlog in 4K at arm's length, your face will fill the screen uncomfortably. The good news? The Ozo audio system is brilliant. It uses 3 microphones and facial recognition to track your voice. It's arguably the best built-in audio on this list, often saving you from buying an external mic. The lens ecosystem. But the real reason to buy this camera is the lenses. Because it uses the micro 4/3 mount, you have access to dozens of tiny, affordable, and high-quality lenses from Panasonic, Olympus, and Sigma. You can build a full professional kit with a portrait lens, a wide lens, and a macro lens for the price of just one Nikon lens. The verdict on the Lumix G100D. If you want the absolute smallest package that still beats a smartphone, and you care about great audio and cheap lenses, this is a little gem. It's the perfect travel companion. Just be ready to shoot mostly in 1080p to avoid the crop. So, we have 3 very different tools sitting on this desk. Which one actually deserves your hard-earned cash in 2026? The answer depends entirely on what you want to create. For the pure photographer, if your goal is to learn the art of photography, take stunning portraits, and you honestly don't care about video, buy the Canon EOS R100. It has the best sensor for the price, legendary colors, and crucially, a viewfinder. It is a fantastic entry point into the Canon world. Just do not buy it if you plan to start a YouTube channel. The video limitations will break your heart. For the YouTuber and vlogger, if your priority is video first, photos second, the choice is obvious, the Nikon Z30. It is the only camera here that gives you uncropped 4K, a dedicated tally light, and a grip designed for filming all day. It is a workhorse. The lack of a viewfinder is a trade-off, but for video creators, the uncropped image is worth it. For the traveler and hybrid shooter, and finally, if you want something tiny to throw in your backpack that does a bit of everything, get the Panasonic Lumix G100D. It's the most portable, the audio is innovative, and the lens selection is massive and affordable. It's the perfect travel companion, as long as you can accept the crop in 4K mode. Final advice, remember, bodies come and go, but lenses are forever. Pick the system that has the glass you want to shoot with. I have hunted down the best current prices for all 3 and listed them in the description below. If this deep dive saved you from making a $500 mistake, hit that like button and subscribe for more honest tech reviews. I'm BestTech-Review, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers!